So what do I use as motivation? What motivates me? How do I motivate myself to do the things that I'm doing in life? I never used to be somebody that I would never class myself as a person with motivation, with self-discipline. These are two things that again I've had to work on consistently and consistently work on them. It boils down to, for me, the motivation, and I do procrastinate, I do get lazy like everybody does, but there is a core set of things that I consider very important to me. I've spoke about it in some of my videos to do with depression, say, social anxiety, but really it boils down to the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, the reason why I work out when I work out, the reason why I'm trying to work on my social skills, the reason why I want to be a better father, the reason why I want a better job, the reason why I want to be self-employed, is all because I have still not got the things that I want in my life. I haven't got the life that I want, and that should be motivating for anybody. Now, obviously, that isn't the case. Otherwise, everyone would perhaps be in a better position in life. Would spend less time watching TV and more time working out, or socializing, these types of things. But because I haven't got those things, I haven't got the physique that I want. I like the way I'm built now. I like the work that I've put in the last few years of working out. I like to see me change. I like to, feel the tightness of my body and my posture improve, and people compliment me, and my clothes fit me better. These things are good, but there is an aesthetic, reason why I'm working out, but there is obviously also a psychological reason why I work out. When I've formed habits. These are habit. Working out now for me is a way of life, and it is a habit. Now, there's times when I do have to motivate myself to do the workout, so to remind myself of why I'm doing this, remind myself why I shouldn't just say, oh, screw it tonight, I'm not going to work out, I'm going to do what some other people do and sit in front of the TV, order a takeaway, and eat chocolate or whatever the heck it is. That's I don't do that, and the reason why I don't do that, and I have to remind myself, but it isn't actually that hard because I've formed the habit of working out, and I've done it now. It's basically a way of life for me. It's like eating healthy. It's taken time. I still do eat certain things that aren't healthy, but I'm a human. We're not perfectionists. Perfectionism is a flaw. In my opinion, it's something that I struggle with and have realised. But working out for me now, one of the best ways I've found to work out, and to motivate myself, if you'd like to call it that, is I know that as soon as I get home from work, I should not be doing anything else other than getting on my gym kit. And I'm fortunate I can work out in my garage because I've acquired equipment over a period of years. So I only have to walk out into my garden, into my garage, and I'm there to work out. But I do it straight away. I don't. As soon as you sit down, it's very, very easy to just say, "Oh, I feel really good relaxing here." I'll work out after my tea, or after I've eaten, and then you don't. I have done that in the past, but I know totally. If I'm serious, it boils down to, like I say, how much I want what I've set out, what I've realised, the thinking that I've done, the areas of my life that I've thought to myself, where do I actually really want to be? Because I don't know how many people do this. It's not something I never did in the past. I never had any goals. I was just I was stagnant. I was completely and utterly stationary in my life, and it's no wonder. I was ended up being unhappy. But obviously now, having learned what I've learned, I understand the the positive things that come from setting goals and actually having dreams and ambitions, and like a burning desire to get those things. Now, I may not get everything that I would ideally like in my life, but I have it's a great feeling having the thought that you can control a lot of what's going on in your life, and you can make improvements in your life that will make huge improvements over a period of time. Working out's the best example in obviously can use. You can't just go and work out once or twice and expect to get any sort of results. You have to work out on a consistent basis. Follow a program that works for you, that you enjoy doing. And I don't always enjoy working out, but I always enjoy the feeling after I've worked out, and the feeling of like, I've done it, I worked out today. I didn't really feel like doing it. I had to really push myself to work out. One of the other great ways that you can help with motivation is something I pull them off YouTube, motivational videos. I then save them. If I'm ever feeling unmotivated, I can play those, and they stoke the juices up inside of me, and get me feeling, like I say, it brings that burning desire back inside you, because it does. But the flames do get dampened sometimes. When it's tough, or you're not quite getting the results that you perhaps want, or you don't approach somebody that I wanted to approach, and but I have got the lessons that I've learned. Even though it really frustrates me, it really, really can be frustrating when I don't do stuff that I know I should be doing, and it is just a psychological issue that I've got a fear of rejection, and say that I will still bottle doing certain things. I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But what I do know about myself is that I will get there if I keep doing what I'm doing. So even though I might come home and I might be a little bit despondent and think, damn it, I missed a really good opportunity today. Why didn't I just say hello to that girl? Why didn't I just make some conversation? So what if it didn't work out? So what if she wasn't interested? I'd rather that than be coming home thinking, what if? And that's one of my. It's come from. I think it's from Stoicism. We should remind ourselves that we are going to die. And some people might say, oh, well, that's really negative, and you're focusing on something that's, death. You shouldn't be ever focusing on that. But if there's no better if there isn't any, I don't know a better motivation than the thought of lying on my deathbed thinking, what if I did that? What if I did do? Why didn't I do that? I regret not doing that. I regret not talking to her. I regret not eating healthily. I regret not helping my daughter the best I can. I regret not saving the money that I should have saved. I regret not going on that holiday because I didn't quite feel like it at the time. I can't think of anything worse than that, because once you're laid on that deathbed, it's too late. You've missed out. That's it. It's a harsh reality, unfortunately. I do not want to get to that point. I don't want to be laid there. Yes, there is things I'm going to regret, but I really need to be doing certain things so that I can lay there and say, I gave it my best shot. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but I gave it my best shot. I did whatever I could to overcome social anxiety. I did whatever I could to get the type of people in my life that I want in my life. I did what I could in the relationships I had, or the relationship I had, or the relationship with my daughter. I gave my best to my daughter. I was always there. These are the things that are important to me, and that motivation. I think we should remind ourselves of it every day. That as there's only one certainty in life. When you're born, the only certainty is that you are going to die one day, and we don't actually know when that is. Could be tomorrow for me. Could be in a week's time. Could be in 50 years' time. I don't know that. But what I do know is that I want to be doing things right now, today, tomorrow, that are going to make a difference in my overall lifespan. That's why I work out as well, because I want my standard of life and living to be healthy and happy for as long as possible. That's why I eat whole organic foods. I feel better with them, which is a no-brainer. And I also, again, I want to live longer. I want to reduce my chances of getting cancer. I want to reduce my chances of being obese. I want to reduce my chances of being a type 2 diabetic. These sorts of things. I hardly drink anymore. Again, that's the health benefit. It's also a depressant is alcohol. Something I should have mentioned actually in my video about depression was, I did start to drink, not an alcoholic, but I started to drink, and that made me feel way worse. And that leads me on to the next point, how I motivate myself, what motivates me. Is something Tony Robbins says, is that we will do more to avoid pain than we will do to gain pleasure. And what that means is obviously, I'll use anxiety as an example because it was something I spoke about in my last video. I would in the past have done more to obviously avoid the pain of being embarrassed or feeling uncomfortable and the feelings that anxiety brought on, as I would to pursue the pleasure of actually being able to speak to that person, say, or ask that person out. It was so much easier to avoid the initial pain of those feelings than it was to actually gain the pleasure that I wanted from something that I was missing out on. So what you have to do there is you have to flip it. So you have to focus on moving the pain to what happens if I continually don't do this, what I would want to do. So what I want to gain pleasure from this, but how is me not doing that making my life more painful? So again, for me, I can use, say, approaching women. I want to date certain women. I obviously want to have relationships and things, and if I don't approach women, or I don't ask women out, or I don't learn how to communicate with them, or I don't learn how relationships works and masculine and feminine energy works, then I won't have that, or I will get into crappy relationships like I have in the past. So the pain for me is of not doing it is I'm going to miss out, and I am going to be laid on my deathbed thinking, what the hell did I do with my life? Why did I miss out on all those opportunities with all those women, or those potential women, or those potential dates, or those potential, girlfriends? That is a great pain for me. And yes, it's painful approaching those women, but I need to associate the pain with the not doing, not with the avoiding. That's how you have to turn that. So, say if you're overweight, you have to. Yes, it's going to be hard work to lose weight. It's going to be painful to stop eating the crappy foods perhaps you're eating and eat a more healthy diet. It's going to be painful sweating out in the gym, or on running around, or doing something in your garage, and it is going to take time. But you've got to associate, what is the pain if I don't do this? Am I going to die early? Am I going to have an extremely unhappy life because it could lead to depression? Am I never going to get to look the way I always would have liked to have looked? Those things should be very painful to you. And I don't know how people do this or what. It's very easy probably to talk us out of those things and not to focus on those things, just to focus on the initial, this is going to be hard and I don't want to do it and it's tough. But link, like I say, the pain with why you're not, what you're not doing, if that makes sense. So that's another key thing. The pain for me of being static, of missing out on so much in life because of, like I say, I let my social anxiety rule my life. Depression crept into my life, and that actually has been a huge benefit to me. But I can use the pain of what it felt like. I do say to myself sometimes, like, I do not want to go back to that place where I was when I had depression. I do not want to go there. I don't want that pain to come back. So I have to do things all the time to stop that. And I know that if I continue to work out, and I continue to have, eat healthy foods, and continue to work on myself and to improve myself, even though, like I say, some days I might get down about it, I'm always going to come out on top. I'm never going to fall back into that, because life's too good. I can see that now. There's too much in life out there. There's so many things that I want to do that I'm never going to have time to do. But that's very, very, very exciting to me. And that is what I use mainly to motivate myself, is what do I want in my life? What I remember I did some sort of an exercise out of Tony Robinson's book where it was kind of I wrote down I can't remember what all the categories were, but I wrote down in like my wildest dreams, like how much money would I want to earn, where would I want to live, what would the house be like, what car would I want to own, what relationship would I want to be in, what physical state would I want to be in, what mental state would I be, all these things, and think of the best possible kind of you want to be. And again, it's something that we don't seem to do this very often. We certainly don't do it in school. We don't teach people to evoke these emotions, to push us to places in in our lives where we could ultimately be, if we had a bit of self-belief, and a bit of support perhaps from other people who put that belief into us. So that's another very motivating thing for me. Something else which is kind of linked to that is visualization. If you've ever done visualization or never heard of visualization, it's basically spending, again, like everything, you have to work on this daily, ideally. I know you probably think, oh, he keeps banging on about this, but it really is the key to success is to take daily steps with anything. I know society is always trying to tell us that everything, you can get everything now, there's a quick fix for everything. That is not true. That is just not the case. And certain quick fixes like loans and stuff can make your life drastically unhappy. There's no quick fix in medicine. You can't just take a pill and you've got the best physique in the world. You can't just take pills and have, without working out to get in good shape. That is just completely not true. Everything takes time. The sooner you can get that in your head, life does become easier. So what is visualization? What do I mean by that? Like I say, I spend 10 minutes a day, or longer, or whenever I'm struggling, to close my eyes and to vividly think about where I want to be. What do I want to look like? Who do I want to be in a relationship? Or what sort of person would I like in my life? Where would I like to live? What country might I like to live in? Where would I like to visit? And when you're visualizing, the key is to get as much emotions involved as can, so and as much of your senses as you can. So try and imagine what the place would smell like. Imagine how hot it might be, what the temperature would be like, what things would feel like on the floor, what clothes would you be wearing, what colours. Is everything bright? The brighter you can make things, the more vivid you can make things, the more real the visualization is for your brain. And you'll often find that if you do this, you start to feel like great inside. You get kind of, not quite butterflies, but that it's like elation. I think that's the feeling, is you get like a feeling of elation inside of you, and it's very, very motivating. It's a great way to change your state. So if you're feeling a little bit crappy, you can sit for 5-10 minutes and visualize, where do I want to be? Where do I want to go from here? You can use music as well. Music's a great way to change state, and motivate you as well. Like, you go to the gym and often there's sort of loud dance music to try and get you going. And I've never really worked out in a gym, but I always have music on or listen to maybe podcasts when I'm working out. But tonight I had a motivational video on, because I need to do it, because I need to there's certain things, like I say, that I'm trying to push myself over a line to do. It's hard to self motivate with, say, my anxiety. It would be nice sometimes to have somebody to push me, but at the same time, when I completely, when I do certain things that I never thought I would have done before, and I already have, but to do them again and to try and get to a place where I'm really confident in those situations is going to be very satisfying that I've done it myself. There's kind of a bit of, that's just my nature, there's a bit of pride in that there for me, and I think it might make the victory, if you want to call it that, or the goal reached, that little bit sweeter. So they're the main things that I would class as my motivation, and you can kind of really adopt them in any way that motivates you. So whatever has happened to you in the past, you can use that as motivation. You can use perhaps what people say. If somebody says something negative to you, you can keep that on board, and instead of reacting, you can use that as fuel to to motivate yourself to say, I'm going to prove that person wrong. I've heard of people who have been dating people saying, and I don't, if this works, it's fair enough. If it worked, great. But a guy will say, go and get into shape to meet another lass. Now, I don't necessarily think you should just be working out just to meet another girl. You should be doing it for other reasons too. But if that is the motivation that it means, he gets into the gym, forms the habit, so it's part of his life. As long as he continues to do it when he meets the next girl, and not do what a lot of people do and just give it up because they get back into that little comfortable life and into that even keel. And can stop growing, then they perhaps will find they end up where they were before and might wonder why. But again, if that is motivation for you, somebody, if people are laughing about you because you're fat, or you've had people be horrible to you because you're fat, use that as motivation to say, I'm going to prove these people wrong. I am going to do this, and you just use whatever you can in that sense to motivate you. Try not to get mad about it. It's hurtful. I understand that, but use that hurt to push you to a better place in life, and you'll be thankful for it. As horrible, as horrible it is that people that they've said that to you. I'm not saying that's correct. But if it pushes you to where you need to be, then that's good in my opinion. It's a good thing that that's happened. I had people comment nothing too bad about me. I've been lucky in that respect. But it was kind of I always hated it when people were like, have you not found yourself a girlfriend yet? Those sorts of things. It made me feel a little bit inadequate. That was how it made me feel, inadequate. But I've used that as fuel. It's kind of like, I want it for myself more than anything else. But it is also nice, when I go out, say, with a group of friends now, and say when we're out, say, having some drinks now, I feel very confident around women. Not as much in the day. Obviously the alcohol is numbing some of my anxiety. But I feel pretty confident when I go out. I'm happy to chat to women, and I have good success rate when I'm out and about, in a social atmosphere like that. I want to be able to do it in the daytime because I think there's a lot more opportunity to meet like-minded people in the day, and it's obviously also something I want to overcome. So I use that as that as motivation for me as well. That the things that people have said to me in the past that it used to annoy me. It used to really annoy me because it just made me feel inadequate, and it was like, why do you have to say that? It just makes things worse for me. But actually, really, it should have been giving me a kick up the backside to say, well, the only way I'm going to stop them saying it is to change. And now I have. It's like they don't say that to me anymore. They actually are the other thing where they think it's pretty cool that I've are overcoming these things and have changed, my personality and the way I am around people, and I really like it. I obviously really like it because it's made my life way better. So they're the key things. I don't think the last thing that I actually use is I just wrote in my notes there is that I especially like on a Friday night. When I'm working out, I kind of think to myself, how many other people are working out? And there's probably loads, don't get me wrong. But this is just how I use it. Is like I say, how many people would be working out every Friday night for the last 5 years? And I say everyone else is out going and getting smashed, say, or sitting in having a takeaway, watching Netflix while I'm getting better, while I'm improving. And I just use that as motivation. It's kind of like my job. I have to sometimes work out of hours, like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, like an emergency call out thing. And one of the things that I started to say to myself, because I'd get a call out saying to a city centre where people were out having a good time, and I'd be driving around it, and it used to be I'd get a little bit jealous, like, oh, I wish I was going out. But then what I did start to say to myself was, actually, while everyone else is out spending their money, I'm earning more money, and I just constantly remind myself of that. And it's really, it's great. It's a great way to motivate myself, or not to get as jealous. To think that I'm kind of getting ahead. I don't want to say like that, but that's how I kind of use it as motivation. Is I'm growing. If I'm growing and people are standing still, and I'm getting way further ahead of lots of people in life, and it will give me a better life. And really what anybody should want is the best life that they can have in the space, in the time that we have on the planet. So please subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Please leave a comment below if this has helped you, if you can resonate with any of this. What do you use for motivation? I'd love to hear, and learn off other people. I think it's the best way we can learn is from other people's experiences. And I wish you the best of luck.